let's go into the first one. So the first one is the pivot table on lists. So here I've got my version 22. So the first thing I need to do is go into feature management and search on analysis. So this one here is feature preview analysis mode. And I just need to click on try it out. So it opens up a new tab with the feature switched on, unfortunately though temporarily. So now the main difference is if I go into, where should I go? If I go into something like item ledger entries, so if I go into a list form, we now have this analysis tab on the top. So it opens up as a standard list, what everyone expects. But if you click on analysis, it effectively turns it into a screen that looks a bit like a pivot table in Excel. So if I open up the sidebar here, it gives me all the sort of options that you'd be used to if you're used to doing pivot tables in Excel. So here, for example, what I might do is I might want to look at my stock by location. So to do that, I need to find the location code. If I drag it off down onto the side, you'll see now that immediately it's grouped things by location with the nice ability of drilling down and seeing all the entries that make up each of those groups. I can decide what columns are actually being calculated. So over here on the right hand side, some of these might not make sense for the analysis that you're doing. So quantity makes sense, invoice makes sense, that one doesn't, sum of unit price doesn't make sense. So let's remove some of these. Target cost, cost amount actual. So let's say I wanted kind of more of an inventory and costing information. You'll see now I've got my sum of quantity and sum of invoice, which in all cases here is almost the same. And if I scroll across, I've got my sum amount. So in the past, you could have done this by exporting it all into Excel and doing the same thing in Excel, but I think it's really neat that you can do it inside the software without really too much hassle.
Claudia, someone said, can you keep this as your own individual view once you know exactly what pivot you want to keep, or is it always going to default back to all the information?
So the idea is that you can save this view. So you can see there's a tab on the top here. So I can say rename it. So let's do by location. So that there, when this is released fully, that will stay there and it stays for you as an individual. So it remembers it by user. So the idea is that you can come back to this list tomorrow, the day after, next week, click on the analysis, change it from the standard list to the analysis, and then you can have multiple tabs here, all with different types of pivot tables and
ready to go,
analysis.
as you need. Thank you.
So what I can also do from this tab, I might then say I want to duplicate it. So basically it creates a copy, and on this one, what I want to do is I want to do it by location and duty status. So if I grab variant and bring that one down underneath location. So now if I click on blue, the first kind of indent is duty paid, duty free, telling me how many lines are in each, and obviously the sum quantity and sum invoiced relates to the actual line that I'm on, and then I click on duty free and then it shows me all the entries. These columns here, you can decide if you want to see them by ticking or unticking these options here. So I might, let's say I'm not interested in cost center, salesperson. So you can make it quite neat and tidy. And one of the things that I've noticed that's not on this analysis page at the moment is the ability to export it to Excel, but I expect that to come before it's released fully. You can create your pivot and then export it to Excel kind of in an already formatted manner. So I think this is really neat. It'd be lovely if this had been released years ago. It's a really nice feature that when they release it properly, I think it'll become just part of our general, this is what you can do from a reporting point of view.
Yeah, internal reporting, yeah.
Okay. So hopefully that's of interest, that's nice. So the next thing